I lost over 50,000 US dollars doing business in Nigeria. We brainstormed, met a particular guy who called himself chairman of this. Mr. Chairman sold this and disappeared with the money. Now almost if I didn't suffer hypertension in 2015, I will never suffer hypertension again. Hello everyone, my name is Godswill Nkanu and I want to welcome you to the Money Business Advantage channel. In 2015, I lost over 50,000 US dollars from a business that almost killed me. And I'll tell you how. Before this time, I was doing well in my business, but at the time, the profits from the business was not watery. It was actually meager, between 3 to 5% profits. And we're not even doing much turnover. If we were, maybe I wouldn't have mind. But at this time, we're doing 3 to 5% profits, and then most of the profit was still going back to expenses and plowing back into the business. And so I just knew we had to do something if we needed to grow. Up until this time, I wasn't paying myself, so I wasn't getting any kind of financial reward or benefit from my business. I was a bit popular in the city at the time, but I was not seeing any money for myself, right? And so I'm the first one of my family, responsible for people. So I knew I needed to make more money so I can take care of myself and take care of my family and also take care of my staff. At the time, I spoke to my partner and I told him, look at the issue we have to find a way to make more money for ourselves. And we brainstormed ideas and then we came up with an idea to go into contract business on the side. To do contract. Of course, we thought we wanted to start slow, so we decided to do like supply contract, LPOs, just get LPO, supply materials or whatever supply needed to be done, make our profits, and usually those profits could be between 30 to 50% profits on those supplies. Sounded like a good deal to me. I authorized him to go and look for those opportunities, and so he began to search, and then he now met one of his old-time friends. They teamed up together to go look for those contracts, and so they began searching. Of course, they came with a couple of opportunities which were not that profitable, so we passed on them. We landed this contract. It was to supply sharp sand to a construction company that was building a major road in a particular state at the time. They kept bringing several opportunities which we had to analyze and turn down. One fateful day, they brought an LPO for a contract to supply sharp sand to a construction company that was handling a major construction project in one of the states in the South. We analyzed the contract and it looked like a good deal. It was legit. As a matter of fact, I went to my bank to go and investigate the company. They were a legit company. They had the resources and the means to pay, so everything was good. It was a 10 million naira contract. Due to the exchange rate at the time, I think it was maybe about $150, $150 naira to $1 or something like that. But at the time, that would have been over $60,000. We had to analyze how much would it require for us to execute this contract, this supply. We needed 8 million naira at the time. And now in my business at the time, we had about 2 million naira in the bank. So I didn't want to use the entire money to go do this business. So I thought, let me split the money in half. So I took 1 million out of this 2 million naira in my company's bank account. I got a loan, a 7 million naira loan from one of my mentors. So making 8 million naira, which was what we needed to execute this contract. Now we're given 30 days to execute this contract, but it was something that we thought we could do in about 2 or 3 days. The plan was, if we started with 1 million naira, I got 7 million naira and then made 10 million, so 2 million naira profits, right? If we could do at least 5 times of these transactions within that period, we could get the capital so that we can refund the 7 million naira we borrowed easily and still have the capital to continue doing these kinds of projects and even more, and put some back into my original business. Next thing, I mobilized the team to go source for who could get the raw materials. They went and met a particular guy who called himself chairman of the Sand Dredgers Association in that community. He seemed like he had a lot of credentials and a lot of credibility. Honestly, as a matter of fact, while the team was with him, he was actually dredging sand. We saw sand in his dump sites. We saw tipper guys come and buy some sand by the side, and I mean, his business was going well, and he assured us that, look, if we paid this money down, he will not sell this sand again to anybody else. He will sell it only to us so that we can execute. Because we share him the plan. Look, we want to do this thing fast. We are serious to do business. No, young guys. Then I was less than 30 at the time. He said, look, if you can just pay me this money down, I will give you this sand. I won't even sell to the tipper guys again. I just want to make sure that people are serious. Pay this money down. And so he actually played on our emotions at the time. I was not there. My team, my partner, and this friend of his, I wired the money to this man. He received it, confirmed everything. So the sand was supposed to be ours, and it was like 5,000 cubits of sand, of sharp sand. That was quite a massive amount. Within a few days, we went to go and mobilize our trucks to come and carry the sand to go and supply to the company. Guess what? This Mr. Chairman sold this sand and disappeared with the money. This was in 2014. He sold this sand, disappeared with the money. Stop picking calls, stop. Oh my goodness. Disappeared, literally was off the face of the earth. Every attempt to reach this guy failed. We even tried using strange numbers. Once he hears your voice and know it was us, he just switched off the phone, changed number. Oh my god, it was terrible. This was the third quarter of 2014. This dragged on till 2014 passed into 2015. He was ineligible. Disappeared. We had to get a lawyer. I got a lawyer, wrote a petition from the lawyer to the commissioner of police in that state, and then he now authorized a special force group to go and investigate the matter. The remaining $1 million cash we had in the business started depleting gradually. We're spending that because to get a lawyer, you pay money, everything like that, mobilization, all manner. We're losing funds. 2015. Sometime around, I think February 2015, that was when I decided, because by this time I had taken $7 million loan from a mentor that I needed to pay back. I was tired of telling stories. This was a contract that was supposed to last nothing less than a month, 30 days. And then this was 4 or 5 months later. No headway. By this time, the contract had expired. We packaged ourselves very well, so we had lost credibility with the company. The contract expired. All the little money we had paid to secure this supply, these little people we had settled. So money had gone in. February 2015, I decided to appoint someone else to lead my company so I can go chase this money. All of this, my company was being abandoned in the hands of somebody else. I sent back for my partner to come manage the business while I went out chasing this money with the other partner. We got the commissioner of police involved, wrote a letter to the special forces. Now we began to track the guy. We spent about a month, all of March, tracking this guy until they finally caught him and all that. He confessed to doing what he did and said he was sorry, gave some kind of flimsy excuses that okay, the money at hand he had to sell, that there was a bigger dredger he needed to buy, so he had to sell our sand and then use the money and go and buy that bigger dredger. In fact, the dredger is on the way coming, or it has even landed. One thing. So why didn't you explain all of this? In fact, with this new dredger, even that 5,000 cubic of sand we're asking for, within a day, you should supply it for us. It shouldn't be a big deal. We said, fine. We still had another contract we're pursuing. So if you can give us our sharp sand we paid for, fine. We have lost the previous one, no problem. There was another company we could get supplies from, so we could get it, right? So the agreement was he will pump our sand for us so that we can go and supply it, and then we're not going to press charges, nothing. Just fulfill your obligation. Just give us our sharp sand. People of God, I think that was another mistake. Turns out he had duped so many other people too, not just us. Because the people he got the land from, when he was using to dredge, he had never even settled with them completely. The community was supposed to settle, get all those necessary things and the list they asked from him to get to do the job, to begin to use their land for dredging. He had not even settled them. We even had to support him with some money by the side just to meet some of these responsibilities and then get us our sand. We did that. He began to supply gradually, then story thread, all manner of stories began to enter. Normally when he started bringing stories, we'll call the special forces guys, look, come and get involved. This guy not responding, they'll reach out to him. He will announce, okay, I'm sorry, please come back again. That was how time was going by. He will supply 1 or 2 trips, one story will enter. Before you know, he has sold the sand. Just like that. My hope was the dredger was still there, so I could literally tell someone that that's my dredger, because it was my money. The bulk of the money was my money that he used to buy that dredger, right? From this late March, early April, when he agreed to give us our sand, that was how story upon story, months were going by, month after month, month after month. September, October, November, stories. It was in December. Now, I couldn't even reach the special forces guys anymore. So you call them, they're not picking or something, whatever the case might be. This was now middle of December. I had spent my entire year chasing this money. I had not gotten anything from it. Towards the end of December 2015, we put a call to one of those special forces guys, and he finally picked the call. what's going on now? This guy, what's happening? The whole year is finishing. Nothing has been done. At least let's just deliver this contract now. Just please help us now. The guy made a statement that honestly broke me, and I'll tell you. He was like, well, even them too. They don't try to call them. In they pick their call. These were people who months ago were like, Aja, look, look, I will deal with you. Well, see, are you serious? You mean that? Now he was saying, no, that them say don't tire with them. No, they don't tire with them. They don't even know anything will happen. Whether in they pick their call again, whether him thing say they won't beg am money. Whether him thing say they won't beg am, okay, when I don't beg am money before, if you've not been compromised, if you've not been biased, if you've not maybe collected money and just become complacent, why would he think that? Do you understand? Anyways, when I heard that, by this time everything had gotten to me. Like, even these special forces who were supposed to be like our last hope for recovering this money, allegedly, there was no proof of this. The way the gist went, this person, instead of giving me my money, just settling me, either giving me my money or giving me my sharp sand, which is what I wanted actually. I didn't really need the money because I needed to at least rescue my name that was already tarnished from this company, at least rescue myself. Allegedly, this guy took part of that money, went and settled these special ops, these special forces people. They were now asking me, hey, where you make una try call am now, whether I go pick una call. Are you kidding me? If he was speaking our call from 2014, we have come to you. So 1 year later, we should go back to make we call am whether I go pick our call. That's we now should call this criminal whether he should pick our call. To be honest with you guys, if I didn't suffer hypertension in 2015, I will never suffer hypertension again. And if I didn't die of heart attack in 2015, that's when I knew that I would live a very long life. Because I was less than 30. I was still a very young guy. To go through this, make una call am whether I go pick una call, because in they pick our call with whether I think say one beggar money. Okay, you have been begging him money before, right? Anyways, my other partner was like, you know what, let's just, the year has already finished, this is already end of the year, we have to go back home and go and at least spend the holidays with our families, and so we'll come back next year and try again. By this time, the remaining 1 million naira we're managing, those were used for the company, had gone, because I had spent all through 2015 in another state chasing my money. That money had gone, so I was to come back the next year and start again. From where? I don't know. I still had a 7 million naira debt on my neck to pay. No 1 naira to pay it. What was I going to do? Anyways, in another episode, I'm going to share how I bounced back from that tragedy, or I was able to recover from all of that. My dear people, that was how I lost over $50,000 US dollars in 2015. Now, here are some of the lessons I learned from that experience, and it's something that you can learn too. Number 1, do what you know. Do what you know. I was listening to Aliko Dangote one time when he said, for him as a person and for their business, the Dangote group as a whole, they don't go into any business that they don't know. Let me quote him in his words. If you cannot wake me up in the middle of the night and ask me any question about a particular business, and I can tell you from A to Z of that business, I won't get into that business. The truth of the matter is that at the time, I had never done that kind of business before. I had never done a supply business, sharp sand for that matter, that's into construction. If I had, I would have known first of all that nobody gives a contractor money 100%. Nobody. No matter what they promise you, no matter their credentials, nobody gives a contractor 100%. So even if you want to go into a new business, you want to invest as much time and energy, hours and hours of researching about the business, finding out everything that needs to be known, and honestly, preferably from experienced people, not just theoreticians, not just people who just read about the business or who just observe. I've been observing, I saw that. No. Maybe if I had partnered with someone who would have come into the business with me, for example, if this dealer in question, I said, okay, instead of me paying you this money, all of it, can we partner? I'll pay you half. Give me the sharp sand. let me go and supply. When the money comes, I will give you your money for your sand plus something on top. It would have been, if he supplied me only say 10 cubits out of the 5,000 cubits, my losses would have been limited to just the 10 cubits he supplied or he partnered with me on. That would have also given me the opportunity to structure a similar deal with probably several other sand suppliers, as opposed to just partnering with just one person. So that brings me to my second lesson. Partner with experienced people. It might not always be possible. You don't have 1,000 lifetimes to learn everything about every business every time, but you can partner with someone who has the experience. All the partners in that venture should not be all ignorant. There should be someone in each key area. In retrospect now, none of my partners or my other partners had any real life experience in the sand business. None. If you don't have the experience yourself, or you can't get the experience or the knowledge yourself, then partner with somebody who does. Avoid greed. Truth is, I had 1 month to supply this sand, 5,000 cubits of sand. Because I had taken a loan from someone to pay back in a month, I wanted to see how I can turn over that money fast, so that when it's time to pay the money, I could be able to pay it and still have at least the same equal amount of money left as my own capital to continue the business without having to get another additional loan. But I wanted to make it, to do it fast. So at least I was looking at turning over that money like 5 times minimum, or if not 6 or 7 times, so that when it was time, I had enough money to pay back and have much left for us in the business. In retrospect, that made me greedy, right? That was greed disguised as smartness. If I had just paced myself as a newbie, this was my first time. If I had just paced myself, taken my time, instead of giving this man the entire money, I say, no, I want to pay for, say, 1 million naira worth of sand today. Once I pay, I carry. Tomorrow, I come, pay for another 1 million naira worth of sand, I carry. Maybe it would have taken me 1 week. Maybe it would have taken me 2 weeks. Sure, he will be selling his own sand. Maybe it's possible I might come today, he doesn't have the sand, I have to wait for him to now have it. So that might have delayed me longer. But of course, I wouldn't have lost my 1 million naira seed capital. And I wouldn't have lost the 7 million naira loan I had borrowed. Fourth lesson, which is something close and similar to the third, is to avoid haste. If I had avoided the need to be hasty, I would not have been duped of my hard-earned, borrowed 8 million naira. It was over $50,000 at the time. So for you watching me, don't let greed or haste ruin what you already have. It's okay to pace yourself. Avoid distractions. Let me explain. At the time, my strength was in the food business. The 1 million naira or 2 million naira I had cash in the bank came from the food business. Me abandoning the food business to go and chase contract because it had the potential of giving me quicker, faster returns was a mistake. Secondly, committing 50% of my cash from my own seed capital, and as a matter of fact, the loan I took, that was another 300 or 400% on top my capital. That is 400% more than I could afford to do a business. Was a very big distraction. Instead, I should have taken that money, looked for another derivative, still in the food business, another city, maybe another state, to carry my existing food business that I knew a lot about, I had gotten results from, diversified or expanded into another state, gone to a bigger city, because the city I was quite a small city, gone to a bigger city with probably more purchasing power, more people who could afford my products and services. I would have been better off at that point. Avoid distraction. And final lesson, never ever take a loan for a new business. Instead of going to take a loan to go and do that new business plus my own cash, rather I should have taken that 2 million naira cash and explored the new business and then gotten the loan to put it back into my existing business. So my final lesson to you is never ever take a loan to start a new business. If you must do that business, use your own capital to explore. and to experiment, so that if you lose it, you know there's nobody who will come and lock you up, or there's nobody who will come and chase after you for their money. Then always take a loan for an already established, working, proven, track recorded business. And that will be all. I hope that my story of how I lost over $50,000 from a business in 2015 inspires you not to make the same mistakes, rather to do better with your own life, do better with your own business, do better with your own finances. And that will be all for now. Thank you very much. Peace.